Hi everybody, I'm Jeff with Virginia Paranormal Investigations, and welcome to the VAPI archives. Now today, I'm hanging out in the attic, not just because I like to hang out in creepy places, but because every once in a while I like to get into the archives and pull out a case from several years ago and present that case, release it for the first time. Now today's case takes place in Virginia Beach, and it was a house where when the residents moved in, almost immediately strange things started happening. The resident, the homeowner, she would hear somebody whispering her name in the middle of the night, and not only did it happen at night, but it also happened in the afternoon when she was going to the refrigerator. And the kids, they'd hear somebody walking around upstairs, and one of the little girls even saw a figure in her doorway. So here's that case from 2014. Now keep in mind, the audio on this case is going to be pretty bad. We worked with the budget that we had at the time, which wasn't great. And at this time, we were literally just starting a YouTube channel. So the team, we started in 2008, and it took till about 2013, 2014 before we actually started putting the videos on YouTube. So we hadn't had a lot of experience at that at the time as well, of course. But nonetheless, here is that video from the investigation in Virginia Beach in 2014, the one that we called the Case of the Mysterious Figure.
Locked in a closet, covered in a layer of dust, are hundreds of files, pictures, videos, and newspaper clippings documenting paranormal activity and unexplained events. These are the VAPI archives.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Kim.
And we're down here in Virginia Beach where we got a call to a private residence. And Kim's going to give you some of the background as to the history that's been going on.
Okay, this subdivision, am I identifying the subdivision?
Yeah, you can identify
okay.
the subdivision.
Castleton subdivision in Virginia Beach. This whole area used to be owned by the Kellum family. They were a very prominent family. There's a high school named Kellum High School. This area was dairyland, farmland. They owned it for generations back in the 1800s. Inside this subdivision, towards the front, there are actually gravestones dating back to the 17 and 1800s. There are ages for individuals ranging from a year old all the way to their 60s, and apparently when the subdivision was placed here, some of the gravestones were misplaced, or displaced, I'll say. There are some that are still there now. The footstones were moved up by the headstones, and there are also several that have fallen over, can no longer be read, that are spread out. And there is a rumor that the family cemetery used to be much larger than it is now, because now it's down to only a handful of graves. The developer was contacted in 1998. The representative said that they were very careful when dealing with the headstones. But that was what I was able to find out. But we definitely know that there are people buried in this subdivision, and that their graves have been built around and possibly moved around.
Alright, so as you can see, we're going around the house here, and it's got very high levels of EMF. This hasn't stopped beeping since we left the kitchen, all the way upstairs, living room, dining room. And what we're going to do is we're going to try to cut the breaker off and see if it still happens. But as you can see, all throughout the house, wherever I go. It doesn't stop. So she's down there cutting the breaker off now, and we'll see if this cuts off also. Daughter upstairs is probably gonna get pretty mad.
Can't see you anymore. Yeah.
It's still going on.
That's crazy. It's not as...
Alright, it's off, but I told her we'd do it as quickly as possible.
Where's the other one at? Let's see.
Right here?
Yeah, see if that one's still doing
I can't
that.
see you though.
Okay, here, I'll do that. Okay, so yeah, go ahead. That's the other EMF detector, and that's still going on.
It is absolutely still going on.
And the breaker's cut. There's no power.
And right here, it was doing the same thing. Like even in the middle of the room, every time I walked past that one spot right there, it was doing it.
And is it up high or low?
It's in the, I got it in the middle right now. See, here's
But-
up, here's down.
But it beeps more up?
Hmm?
Does it beep more when you make it up?
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting.
That's Grandma?
Yeah.
Well, it'd be nice if Grandma would let us get her portrait.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
I also noticed the dog growling. He does that when he sees somebody, so for him to growl in the middle of the night towards the doorway over here is interesting.
This thing, I'm keeping it exactly the same level. And it just goes. And then it'll stop when you get around here.
Hey, you forget to go and smile.
It happens every time.
So we had high EMF levels all throughout the house inside. So what we're doing now is we're doing a sweep of the outside. We're going to go in the backyard here. And I wanted to come out here, I wanted to look for power lines that were right over the house or anything like that. There are no power lines. In fact, I don't see any power lines in this neighborhood, so they must be underground.
Can you point it towards the ground and see if it...
Yeah, but my other theory was that maybe there was some kind of a sediment or mineral that was in the ground that was setting it off, but it's not the minerals, because if it was like the mineral makeup or anything like that, like there's certain, I'm no geologist, but there's certain like rocks that are supposed to set this off, so sometimes when people get EMF spikes, it can be attributed to that. I wouldn't attribute this to that, because it's not going off now in the backyard. So another thing I noticed is that, like I said, the wiring has to be underground, and there are street lights in the front. So let's see what happens as we get closer to the street light. Because I noticed when we came back here, it stopped.
It stopped. I was just telling her the same thing.
There's no overhead wiring, so it's got to be underground. And plus, like, so here it's starting like right about here. And what we need to do is see if this is the same in the house, like if it starts just after the kitchen there.
Okay.
So this would be the line where it started. And that's almost up to 3. By here we're a little past 4.
Alright, I got a little something right here.
And now it's up all the way.
What, are you getting anything over there, Jeff?
It's weird. It stops right here.
Okay, because I'm not stopping.
No.
And I'm stopping here in the street light. That is strange. No, there we go.
So I don't. And buried TV cable.
That's so funny.
So see in here, like inside, when you pointed it down and stopped here, it keeps going. So there's got to be.
All the lines in Virginia Beach are underground because for hurricanes.
Oh.
But why does that... I don't get how that attributes to inside the house.
Well, see, if it starts right there at the corner of the house, the field starts right behind the house. Well, the kitchen stands out, so the kitchen shouldn't really be in it as much. But once you come past the kitchen going forward, or not the kitchen, where there was like a little closed-in room on the back there. Once you come past there going forward, the field should be straight down here all the way. You know what I mean?
What about upstairs, though?
Yeah.
Well, it's who's to say how high it goes, see?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, if it was in the ground. But there are places when you go up that stop midway.
Yeah.
Okay, it's in the ground, not in the middle.
Yeah, so where would the wiring be in the top of the house? I mean, it would have, you know what I mean?
See, I don't know.
Where's he going?
Taking my suggestion, walking down the street.
Yeah. I don't feel like following him though. Oh, sorry. Coming.
Well, no, I was just saying, like, see, it's
It's up and down the street, isn't it?
up and down the street.
There were a lot of killings.
It's gotta be something else than this.
Well, you know what? Williamsburg is the same way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And it's
Did you find anything about the land? You know how Virginia is got so much like history.
Not this part. Now, over by Great Neck, in the Great Neck area, which is, I'm all turned around, but probably 5-6 miles. It's got a really interesting history. But this particular vicinity, the only thing I could really come up with was that it was the Kellum family land.
Did they have like something with dairy farm or something with dairy? Do you know?
Give me a moment. Let me go back to my Googling.
I don't know much about Great Neck, but Damn Neck is killing me.
So it's most likely attributed to the power lines.
Yeah, I mean, being that constant, because the thing is, like, we won't be able to tell if something crosses in front of us or not because it's going off the whole time. You know, where usually when we do the baseline sweep, we see where the high levels are, and if there's high levels, it can affect people.
There was
it can
a
also
pig
attract
farm.
spirits.
I'm not seeing anything.
But being that there's high levels all
There was
throughout,
like slaughterhouses, but
we're not
I
going to
was
get any
getting more
spikes.
like
It's gonna be
milk.
going the whole time. So.
The only is this pig farm.
Oh!
Now sits upon what was a 209-acre dairy farm.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
Am I still supposed to be recording?
Oh, yeah, if you want to.
So this area was the dairy.
Yeah. Dairy farm, pig farm. It was farm.
There's
In general.
I just would not dismiss the fact that there's slaughterhouses everywhere, and animals are souls,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
and so it's everywhere.
It was dairy farm.
So what I was saying outside is the high EMF level started about the corner of the house, which was parallel to this wall. Now it started a little back behind that, but it started getting significantly high right when we hit, which I said is parallel with this back wall. So according to that, back here it shouldn't be as great. And see, it's not. It's not beeping now, but I'll turn the volume up so you can hear it. But as soon as I get up to this corner, it should start. And this is where the field goes, straight through the house, from the neighbor's house, straight through, all the way out to the street, and up the sidewalk. I will walk down the sidewalk, about 2 houses, the whole way constant. And it is at its highest
when you get to the front of that field. See? It'll get higher and higher, and then when I get in this piano room here, that's the most significant. All the way out to the street. So it starts from the corner of that wall where I showed you, and it increases as we go out to the street. So being that we have the high levels on these, we're not going to be able to use them, because initially we do the baseline swoop, find out where the high levels are and where it doesn't beep at all, where the low levels are, and that way we determine if something passed in front of us is biased, because it'll start beeping where it didn't beep before. But since it beeps all over, we can't do that, so we're not going to use these. And we'll just start it off.
Okay.
Alright. In the master bedroom, Jeff,
Lisa, Mindy, Kim.
and we'd like to know if there is anyone here with us tonight. And we don't mean to trespass or intrude in your home, but we'd like to talk to you and know if there's anything that we can do to help you. Could you tell us what your name is? Can you tell us what year it is? We'd like to know about the person that the little girl's been seeing here. Could you tell us who you are? Walking.
Why are you here?
If you come into the middle of the floor by that red light, you can change my temperature.
Do you like this family? How old are you?
How many people are with us tonight?
Can you make a noise?
That was something downstairs.
What would you like to tell us? Can you move something for us?
He says, he keeps saying clear out. They were cleared out. And he wants the parents to keep the kids off. It's disrespectful. There's something about 1879, you said. And he said there's 37 of them with us.
Like in this house?
Mm-hmm.
Crowded place. So, yeah, it's a crowded 4-bedroom.
Is there an AC vent over here? Because this side got really cold.
It's right there. That's running right where I am. Right where you feeling cold?
It's like right here.
Yeah, he doesn't mean any harm. It's just a lot of misunderstanding.
Would you leave if you could?
It's like really cold, right?
Yeah. He said it's a family heirloom, the land. It's more than a legacy, he says. He said they pioneered something. Like they pioneered like a change, like a farming or some kind of like zoning. His family was responsible for that.
Did you know you had a high school named after you?
Do you know anything about a grandson being murdered? It's probably young, 20s.
There was Jonathan Kelland that died at 25.
There was like some sort of dispute over jealousy. And this like zoning or this like land. I'll have to research that later.
Okay, so this is the master bedroom, and this is where we just finished our EVP session. There was a couple sightings of a dark figure in the doorway. The daughter saw him in the doorway. Also has seen him coming from the bathroom over here to the closet area. There was also an incident in the bathroom where she felt a breath on the right side of the back of her head when she was in the tub. So there definitely could be something in this room. As far as temperatures, we started at 75, we ended at 70, and now we're back up to 72. So there were some temperature fluctuations. As far as the EVPs, we still have to analyze those, and we still have to analyze the pictures and video, of course. So we're going to move on to the hallway now. Okay, we found something here in the hallway. Not sure if it's really anything, but
The temperature's really high.
yeah, let's get, do you have that service thermometer? Just check and see what the reading is on that. What is it?
Oh, it's going up.
Up 70. Oh, it's fluctuating. You know what? Try moving it off of the coupon. There we go.
Oh, that
We
went
got
way down.
73. So, I mean, it's still a decent temperature. Probably would have been better about a half hour ago. Right. Alright, so we're conducting an EVP session in the living room / piano room. Jeff?
Lisa, Kim, Mindy.
And once again, we don't want to intrude if there is someone here and this is your house or this is your land. We just want to know if you have anything to tell us and if there's anything that we can do to help you. And we'd like to know if you are here with us. If you could talk close to this red light here on the table, we might be able to hear you better. Is there anybody here with us?
There are people in the garage that are talking.
Yeah, we're going to pick up some voices.
We also have this box here on the ground. If you can move past it, that will let us know you're here.
You know what the grandmother's name was? Or her? Well, there were several. I don't recall the exact name.
That was me.
Is there anyone with us in this room?
Sorry.
Alright, it's quieted down now. There was some talking out front. If there's anyone here with us, can you tell us what year it is, or what year you last remember it being?
Jeff Skunk.
Yes. Would like to know what year you moved here. When you first moved here. What was it like? Was it summertime?
many people died here.
There's someone here. Can you press a key on the piano?
If you come over by the table, close to this, you can make it light up and make noises.
Door upstairs.
Are you a member of the Kell family? Or could there be someone in this room that is a member of the family who currently lives here?
Is there any message you would like to give this family? Dog.
Now the question is, did somebody poke the dog? I'm not being funny. Why did the dog do that all of a sudden? Are the kids playing with the dog?
Was that the dog?
Oh, that was definitely the dog.
I don't know where it is.
Just wondering why the dog makes noise like that.
Was that the dog that yelped?
Huh?
Was that the dog?
Yeah.
Where's she at?
She's over here.
Is there anybody in there?
I don't think so. Where's my arm?
I think she's in the garage.
Oh, no, nothing's in there.
Cat, maybe?
I don't think so.
That's weird.
The door closed over there.
Take a look. I will. You can keep going. I'm just going to go see if there's a cat in the room that might have scratched him or something. Yeah, I don't see any cats. And this is where it gets interesting. Just a dog. Yeah. No cats. Oh.
Hallway where Sophia says that she has heard footsteps, and she also says that she has seen a figure going into her mother's room. So, we were wondering if there's anyone up here that would like to talk to us tonight.
If there are any children here, we got a couple toys there on the floor. You're welcome to play with them.
If you come over near the toys, you're going to make some of those things on the floor light up.
What do you think of this family? Do you think that they're nice?
spend time in the hallway.
Dog growling. Now notice one thing that's interesting is as soon as the dog saw me move by the door, he started growling. I don't know if it was a coincidence or not. So he does growl when he sees a figure at the door, or movement at the door. Mm-hmm.
Very protective.
Yeah.
Do you like all the pets in this house?
We wrapped up our investigation. Some things to point out was on our recording, you can hear the dog yelping. And I went upstairs and he was under the bed, but I looked around, I didn't see anything in the room, and then I went over in the bathroom and turned around and came back out, and there was the cat. So it's a good possibility that he got in a little tangle with the cat maybe. We did 3 EVP sessions. We did one in the master bedroom in the hallway, and then down here in this room. And we have to analyze those to see if we turn anything up. Welcome back to the attic. I hope that you all enjoyed taking a walk down memory lane with me for a few moments there. Now this case was definitely an interesting case. Though we didn't have any audio evidence from the case, we did have the opportunity to have psychic medium MINDIE with us. And that was interesting. It's interesting to see when you have a psychic medium there, especially one that's as good as her, it's interesting to see them at work and to hear what they come up with. And some of the things that she touched on really hit home with the client. At the end, she revealed that one of the spirits, if not the main spirit in the house, was actually the grandmother. And like I said, this brought the homeowner almost to tears when she described this woman and the scent of her perfume and the look of her dress and everything else. It was amazing to hear her describe this in such detail. So that was believed to be one of the spirits there. Now I want to show you a picture that the little girl actually drew of the figure that she saw in her doorway. We still have this in the files here. Now you can imagine that to a little girl, seeing a figure like this in your doorway must be quite frightening. But if you look at this and think about what MINDIE told us, this very well could be the grandmother that she's been seeing in the doorway. It looks as if the figure's wearing some sort of a dress. And also, you don't know, just because it's a dark figure doesn't mean that it's something dark. A lot of times, at least we believe that certain entities, they don't have the energy all the time to manifest into such detail as a full-blown apparition. So just because something appears dark doesn't mean that it's bad. It may very well mean that this could be the grandmother. However, she doesn't have the energy to manifest in such detail where you can actually see her face and see the clothing that she's wearing and everything else. The most energy she has is to manifest as this figure, as this dark figure in the doorway. So every time you see something like this, don't think it's automatically bad. This could very well be the grandmother. But I want to thank you all for joining me for this edition of VAPI Archives. Perhaps down the road in the near future, I'll pull another video out of the archives, pull another file out, and we'll go through it together, and I'll share that case with you because we have many, many more up here covered with dust.